Is it easy being the first one to experience something? No, it's not. Hello, and today's insight, alright, is mainly going to be about being the first to experience things. And I'm not sure if it was this morning or yesterday night, but I watched a video of Dave Chappelle making fun of Chris Brown because Chris Brown was only able to make a joke out of the fact that Will Smith hit him, right, slapped him, 3 months after the fact. And I mean, so Dave Chappelle was not like taking away from the fact that that happened to that happened to Chris Rock. Did I say Chris Brown? Chris Rock. Okay, the comedian. And so he didn't take away from that, but he was kind of still poking fun at him as true comics do, right? So there's nothing wrong in that, and it being the first child of my family, okay, I kind of understand because it's like it's being raising the eldest and raising the youngest is kind of different. And I'm not taking away from my sister's experience. I'm not taking away from my experience. I'm just saying that they're different, right? And being able to understand that and being able to like talk of that and be able to place them where they are and clearly, distinctly indicate that they're two different things, but still make fun of them without actually, in true comic fashion, without degrading yourself, is quite well. Like it's like use your words. Maybe this video should be called the trauma of not being able to say your words. But the trauma of being first is because it happens to you and you're not taking away from anyone else. If you're actually a proper human being, you won't take from other people's experience. But what you'll do is that, well, what I'm referring to is that when it happens to you, you'll be better supported because people are like, when it happens the first time around, everyone's like in shock and they do not know how to react. And I'm saying this from a perspective of someone who's had a TBI, a major TBI, so much so that when something surprises me, I don't know how to react. So I'm like, if I don't have the processes set in place to react properly, I don't know what to do. And so the fact that Dave Chappelle was able to use this in a funny manner and be able to quickly and put it in his skin. I don't know how, like, the time difference between what actually happened and how he reacted to it, but it was quite, I found it very well, and it wasn't degrading or any of that sort. So the way that Dave Chappelle is going to react to this, or reacted to that, is going to be like indicating how mature of a person he is. But all in all, I just want to say that being the first to experience something takes some of the reaction away, because when people are surprised, that's what I was getting at. When people are surprised of what just happened, they don't know how to react. But once it happens the second time, now they know how to react. And so now that was something that Dave Chappelle didn't necessarily mention in his bit, but that's something that I can definitely relate to. And any parent can relate to that. It happens once with your first child and you don't know what to do, but with your second child, you're better equipped, so to say. So I found it quite funny, especially being a first child and having been through a car accident, So it was quite a little easier for my parents to know how to deal with something when my sister went through her health crisis. But it's different for every single sibling. It's different for every single person, and the situation, the circumstances were very different. But everybody in and around the situation was better equipped to deal with something that went awry because of what happened to Dave Chappelle. No, not Dave Chappelle, but what happened to Chris Brown. in that situation. Okay, they were like, "Oh no, this cannot be," and everybody was like, "Oh no, 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 that does not fly with us." Okay, with Dave Chappelle, but no one was really well equipped to do this with Chris Brown, Chris Rock. Okay, so the problem for people who experience it first is that no one knows what the process is. But once it happens, everyone then knows how to deal. So basically what this is saying to Chris Rock, if he's watching this, and I'm sorry if I butchered your name a couple of times, is that you paved the way. You paved the way for the entertainment business to know what is good and how to act and how to react when a situation like that comes around. So you, my friend, are a trailblazer. Think of it that way. And if it weren't for you, okay, Dave Chappelle would not have had such a good reaction. Would not have had all these people getting up in an uproar and be like, "Oh my God, no! What are you doing?" and blah blah blah. Okay. So you, actually, my friend, have saved the day in many different ways. I digress. So being the first person is not easy in the least. But what I want you guys to think about is, how can you elevate yourself from this situation to be a better person, so that everyone around you can be like, "Yeah, this is the person. They're the man. They're the woman. I emulate them. That is what I want to be." Ponder that.